BTMReview.com here with another episode of the Retro Rampage podcast, episode Who Fucking Cares? It's a lot at this point, not gonna lie. But on the last episode, I talked about it being Halloween, my favorite time of year, and for me personally, I can't speak for Zach here, but I'm gonna kind of try and continue that theme the best I can. And the topic of the hour, more like 15 minutes, is movies that could have made cool games. We all know that most of the time movies cause cancer with their video games. They're horrible. They're fucking tumors. They really are. But there's a couple that I think really could have been cool ideas. I guess you could think of it a couple different ways. Like maybe if somebody didn't buy that script in Hollywood, somebody saw it in the gaming industry and say, hey, let's just make a game out of this. Fuck the movies, you know? Yeah. Like what could have worked both ways? And I'm going to go ahead and start us off here, and I'm going to say fucking Evil Tunes. We just did a commentary of Evil Tunes a month or two back, and it would have been applicable for the Halloween season, but that game would have been the coolest fucking video game, like in the 8-bit era. Yeah. If you could just think of it as a kid, think of it. You got cartoon wolves that are murderous, possessing people, and you'd have girls with their tits hanging out. I mean, it would be a side-scroller.
Yep.
And you'd be in that house.
Who would you be playing as? David Carradine or the wolf?
Well, it is a video game, so like it's got to be loosely. I don't have to stay strict to the movie, but I don't know, man. I guess he'd probably be David Carradine because he's got that knife, that blade.
You just be standing by a tree the whole time. Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, you guys have to watch that commentary. I fucking love that commentary, by the way. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm egotistical and I just listen to our own stuff all the time, but I love listening to the commentaries. That Evil Tunes was fucking hilarious. I was dying. I listened to it a few weeks ago, actually. But I think if this was a video game, they probably would make David Carradine the central character just because he does have a weapon and he's a man. And let's face it, old games were sexist. I don't see you playing as these big-titted freaking sorority girls. I just don't see it. I think you would be playing a side-scrolling platformer game, trying to get the Necronomicon, and you would be saving these big-titted girls like throughout the level or something. Like maybe you'd have to like save each one of the girls in every stage while the wolf like tries to chase you down. I don't know. There'd probably be a bunch of baddies in the levels that make no sense to the movie. Like there always was, like spiders in Freddy Krueger game and all kinds of stuff. They're probably like flying books. I don't know. I could just see it. I don't know. Evil Tunes. It's a no-brainer. What about you?
I say we make a son-in-law game, dude.
Son-in-law. You have chickens? It came down to me dying, him kissing me. I'd rather be dead.
Well, yeah, you could have like mini games where you're feeding the hogs and everything. Do you remember like there was a Jackass video game?
Like now that you say it, I do, but I never played it.
Yeah, it was at the end of like it was like when the PlayStation 3 was pretty big, and it was a PlayStation 2 game, and it was just a bunch of mini games.
No, I never actually played it, but I can see that. So maybe it would just be like a son-in-law party, Mario Party, son-in-law party. I mean, so the different games, you'd have him on the tractor,
right?
You'd have him feeding the hogs. You'd have him chasing the chicken. You'd have to somehow... I just see Theo as like a mid-boss.
Yeah.
You'd have to beat the shit out of a giant like caricature Theo for roofing Kelly Kapowski. Or something. Yeah. And then of course, what's his name? The fucking douchebag, the jock boyfriend. He's got to be the big bad.
Yeah.
I could see there being a mini game
Travis.
Like Travis. I keep wanting to say Jeff because I see Kelly Kapowski and I'm like, it's that fucking asshole Jeff again from Saved by the Bell. That fucking pedophile, man.
Wait, what?
You never watched Saved by the Bell?
He's a pedophile in real life?
Well, not in real life, but on the show. It's like Kelly Kapowski was probably 15 and he was fucking supposed to be in college. But fuck, man, the guy looked 32 as an actor, and Kelly Kapowski was really her age on the show. But even so, even if he was like in college, what a scumbag. He's a manager at the Max, and he steals Kelly Kapowski from Zach. And he's just a douchebag, man. And he was like playing her. He was cheating. He had other women.
That could have been a video game.
I guess that could have been a video game, man. But, you know, I see the son-in-law video game working out. I see, like, you could have a mini game, like those Mario Party games have those motion ones I see like you having to button mash. You're trying to breathe life into Grandpa because he, at the lake or whatever. You got to give him CPR. You got to keep pressing the button to give him enough oxygen. I could see that.
You kind of blow into the remote.
Okay, so son-in-law. In all honesty, I can't see that ever being a fucking game. I'm just.
You know what they could do? They could make it like what the Ghostbusters game was, and just make it like what the second movie would have been.
Yeah. Why stop there? Why don't we just have a Ghost Dad video game?
Biodome 2.
Biodome 2. So a ghost. Okay, so let's think legitimately here. Video games. What movies would have made a good video game? What about the Leprechaun?
Yeah.
Could you see like that? I mean, it might get a little tedious. You'd be some stupid fucking kid like going around a house, and it would be dumb. It would be just
they could have a boss. Where they could have like a. Or would you play as the Leprechaun, or would he be like who you're running away from and all that?
You would have to run away from.
Okay, because like they could do a boss battle where he's coming at you and you got to throw shoes. You remember that scene?
Yeah, in the first... yeah, I do. It's stupid. I think the Leprechaun game could work just like a good Nightmare on Elm Street game where, because Leprechaun has magic powers. I think you could have every boss be Freddy and the Leprechaun, but like they shapeshift in their form. Freddy Krueger, you should be able to fight the giant Freddy worm. Yeah. And such. But, you know what a game I think would work really well as far as a modern game? I legitimately think as a modern horror game, you can make a Hellraiser game. I think if Hellraiser was never a movie and you brought forth like a first person, like something like the PT demo, Hellraiser in like that house man and the Cenobites, and then I think that would be very effective, like with the box and then like the light shining through the shades and them coming and then they're all throughout the house, Oh man, that'd be so scary. I think that would work very well.
You mentioned Psycho earlier. That could be a good video game.
How would Psycho be a good game?
I don't know. It'd be fun to walk around that house.
And you just see like Norman Bates dressed as his mom, like with a knife up and down, like just kind of walking through the hallway like Scissor Man coming at you. Yeah. I guess you hear the every time it shows up on the screen.
It could be like a Psycho video game / motel running simulator.
Yeah. And then, so if you win the game, you know how those old NES games have like really the shitty non-reward for beating the game? They like say like some congratulations sentence or something. That's what's gonna like. I can imagine beating the Psycho game on NES. Congratulations, his reign of terror is over. Anthony Perkins contracted AIDS. He's now dead. You win.
That's terrible. No, it would say congratulations or whatever.
Congratulations.
What was it?
Beat a great game.
You beat a really great game. Now go and rest our heroes.
Ghostbusters.
Like what were they thinking with that?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That was horrible.
That whole last boss fight was terrible.
Yeah. I'm trying to think though. Like what's another cool game? What's another cool movie? There's a slew of action games that I could see being. I mean, most big action movies were turned into games, but there's some movies that I love that never were. I personally think, and I'll never know why they never capitalized on it, because the games were so hot. The games were so fucking hot at the time, and I get it. This is kind of cheating because they made a movie off of a game, but I think they should have made a Mortal Kombat the movie game.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't. They made a Street Fighter the movie fighting game.
Yeah.
And they ripped off Mortal Kombat doing the digitized actors. I thought it would have been cool if I was a kid in 1995 when Mortal Kombat was fucking hot as shit, for them to make a strict Mortal Kombat the movie video game using the same digitized actor stuff, and then they actually had like Robin Shue and Kerry Tagawa and stuff and Kano.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been like the Street Fighter game where they threw in Sawada, like some general fucking B character to be in the game. They would throw in Art Lean.
You could play as the freaking Goro Muppet.
Yeah. I would want to play as that Goro Muppet. I thought that would have been really cool, man. And it had Christopher Lambert as Raiden. I don't know why they never did that, and I think they should have. But other than that,
when you said action movies, the first thing that popped into my mind was Hard Target.
Hard Target, Mullet Van Damme. You have to punch a bunch of snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have that, dude. They could just you'd be like freaking Solid Snake with the mullet. There's not many games where you have a character with a mullet.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that could be kind of fun, like you're being hunted.
Yeah,
Hunted
and
by-
then somebody
by
can
Lance
catch you and go,
Henriksen.
That's brilliant advice, Boudreaux. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Do it today. And tell that bitch girlfriend of yours to point her titties north and step on the gas.
You'd have to
that's
have,
my favorite line in the movie.
You'd have to have Wilford Brimley in there with some like audio bites of a really fucking horrible Cajun accent.
Yeah.
The worst Cajun accent I've ever heard in my life. But there's...
Did you ever hear the story that I guess that movie was like 2 hours or something long, and it had a lot more Lance Henriksen in it?
Ugh.
And I heard a story where like it goes that Van Damme and the editor went into like the editing room and came out with this hour and 30-minute long version, and people were like, you cut out most of Lance Henriksen's part, and he's like, this is not Lance Henriksen movie, it is Van Damme movie. You know if that's true or not?
I don't know, but he was a big egotistical asshole. That's why he took the Street Fighter movie. He turned down the Mortal Kombat movie. He turned it down. They offered him the role of Johnny Cage, but he didn't want to be a co-star. He didn't want to be... Liu Kang was the hero. So he went after the Street Fighter role because it was a starring role.
Yeah.
And he went...
Wasn't
that tells
like,
you, he went after the much shittier movie. He doesn't give a shit. He didn't give a shit about the script. He just wanted to be the star. His head was... Go ahead.
Yeah, that's ironic because wasn't like Mortal Kombat originally a game about Van Damme?
Yeah, it was intended to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme licensed game, and then the licensing fell through, and they still had this fucking game they had already started on. So that's how Mortal Kombat was birthed. It was an accident.
Yeah.
Happy accident. So, but and actually, before when Van Damme turned it down, they were going to give it to Brandon Lee, and then of course Brandon Lee died. They casted Brandon Lee.
Really?
And then he got killed on The Crow because he was going to follow it up Mortal Kombat right away, and then he died, and then they had to replace him with Lyndon Ashby right away.
Yeah, that could have been a good game, The Crow.
Yeah, I guess it would be a better than the fucking movie. I hate the movie.
Oh, I like the movie.
See, the thing is, I used to like it, but I don't understand. I don't see the appeal. The gothic appeal's cool, but I just don't think the movie's that good. I think the story's there, but I think the actors are shit. Everything about it, I just don't like the actors. I don't like it.
The freaking the sequel with Eddie Furlong as the Crow.
Wicked Prayer, that's been in my Netflix queue for I
need to watch it too.
It's been in my Netflix queue forever, and I keep saying to myself, one of these days I'm really gonna have nothing to fucking do, and I'll resort to actually watching this. And every single time I find something better. But you know what? I need to actually. That would be a fun commentary.
Yeah,
it's all on Netflix. It would be easy. And
would you watch it for the first time?
Yeah, I would do it. We should have did that during Eddie Week. What were we thinking?
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot, man. But I mean, I guess I'll kind of wrap it up with action movies, man. I mean, I know they made a shitty, I stress, shitty Rambo game recently, but it didn't cover the events of Rambo 4. And I think Rambo 4, if they could capture the intensity of that movie on a video game, would be awesome, man. I mean, it would basically just cater and feed the Call of Duty generation.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I said, it's just a bunch of raw meat exploding everywhere.
They need to make a new freaking Rambo movie, too.
Well, the Rambo 5 movie, it's funny, the updates are super slow. It's like it keeps going on from off to we'll get information about it, and then it kind of dies down. But and I wonder if it's because there's this race with current events to stay politically correct, to be up to date. So maybe Stallone's not talking about it anymore because ISIS, no, we got it.
No, you should just make it where he's killing ISIS.
Killing ISIS, yeah, it needs to go. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. But I don't know. That's all I got. I can imagine there have been a National Lampoon's Vacation game, and it just would have been a road game. You'd be in the it'd be like a racing game. You're just trying to get to Wally World.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what's funny is the whole point we did this episode was to talk about the Friday the 13th game that's coming out. We forgot to mention it.
Yeah. Because that was the initial idea. Is hey, we could talk about the Friday the 13th game. So we'll kind of end it there. We'll talk about Friday the 13th. The thing is everybody that made headlines last week. Oh, Friday the 13th game announced. But I'm kind of confused because they announced it last year. They announced it last year, but didn't give any. They just said it was being worked on. And they're like, yes. And it's like, so I even wrote an article about it a year ago. But anyway, so I don't know how much information's out there, any footage or screenshots. I hope it's come along a little ways since a year ago. Like, at least they should have something to show. But I don't think they do. So what do you think? How do you think a game like that would be best suited? How do you?
Well, I read something about it's going to be like online game. And I guess one player is Jason, and then the rest are camp counselors, and I guess you got to
fucking camp clowns. Fuck those guys.
I hope there's at least some story mode.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fucking lame, to be honest with you, man. Because I'd rather have a story mode game where I mean, think about it. All these kids are fanatical about that shitty Slender Man. Because they like those jump scares and they like the thought.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a game where it's actually scary, where you're going through the woods and you have Jason who can pop up anytime and really scare you. I could see how that you can make that scary. It's not scary if there's one asshole like teabagging you in an online and fucking he beats you and he's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just keeps like,
because you know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, how is this scary? There's just one guy that's just fucking taking us all out and he's teabagging our fucking dead corpses. I don't want to say, I think it would take away everything that game should be.
I think it sounds interesting, but I think it would be better, if it was a story, not like online.
I'm not sure how much you could do with the story, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, because games are not like they used to be, because even back then you couldn't do anything with the stories. Think about it. We had Nightmare on Elm Street games, we had Friday the 13th games, and they really had to milk it. They made these phony-ass levels where you're walking around kicking fucking spiders. I mean...
punching snakes in the face.
I mean, there's only so much you could do with it. I'm not so sure that flies these days. But, I mean, at most, I think all you could get out of it is like a really cool hour-long PT demo type thing. You get scared for an hour, but how are you going to drag that out for 10 hours? I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I've seen weirder things. Maybe they could. But whatever. I'll get excited about it whenever I see it. And I see what it's about. I guess I won't
me too.
Be too soon to judge here, but I don't know.
Maybe it took them a while to get the license or something.
Yeah, Ed Boon was hogging it up.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. I still think the idea of there's been fans that have proposed the idea of a horror icon fighting game for a long time. Now that we've seen what Jason and Freddy's can look like in a fighting game via Mortal Kombat, I think it could work. It would be really cool. Because all those guys that have killer movesets, man, I can imagine Pinhead in a fighting game using like the chains that fly everywhere. Yeah. There's just a lot of cool things you could do. So I would rather see a game like that go into full production than I just don't see a game like this working. But who knows, man? There's like Alien Isolation. I mean, I know that was kind of like mixed, but
I still need to play that.
I really do too. But that's same thing where I guess there's one enemy chasing you and you're hiding. So I guess if they made it kind of like an Alien Isolation thing, I guess some people like that and it didn't get boring. So I don't know. I'll hold my comments till I'm actually able to sink my teeth into it. But anyway, for now, that's what we got. Some games, some movies that we think would be at least funny. I mean, to be honest with you, Hard Target would probably be a big piece of shit. We'd be making fun of it today. If they ever made Hard Target, we'd be making fun of it today. Leprechaun, that really does not sound like a fucking good idea at all. It would be just like the Nightmare on Elm Street video game. We'll be walking around kicking fucking spiders.
No, I just want to throw shoes at him so that he has to shine them. Who writes that in a script?
I don't know, but I don't want this to carry on too long. But I will say,
he's a genius.
Those fucking Leprechaun movies, they have different lore attached to every. There's no consistency. In the first one, he has to shine shoes compulsively.
Never happens again.
No, it never happens again. And then like, in the first one, he's got in the first one, the second one, I know he's got a whole bunch of. I can't remember. I think in the second one, he's got a big pot of just gold. It's just random gold items. Like there's like a gold. Yeah, just random gold trinkets and stuff. And the third one's shillings. and yeah, there's things in every single movie that are his weakness. So there's really no, I don't know, method to any of it. But yes, the shine of the shoes is fucking ridiculous. But anyway, until next time. I pitched it on the last episode. I got to pitch it now. Next week on our main podcast, which by the way, you can go to btmreview.com. And we host a few podcasts and post interviews, and we have film commentaries that are a fucking hootenanny. And we have our primary podcast. Next week's podcast, we are making it about Eli Roth, the ever controversial Eli Roth. And we're doing a double header of Knock Knock and The Green Inferno. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So that was a pitch for that stuff. Let us know what you think about this episode or what you want to see in the meantime. We want to do some special stuff for Halloween, so we're open to feedback. Let us know on the YouTube channel, iTunes, btnreview.com, Facebook, Twitters, all that stuff. And I don't know, as usual, thank you. I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
Adios.